What do you search for? I search for purity. Welcome to Should You Watch This with the Popcorn Priest, home of the Golden Bucket, a weekly podcast where movie enthusiasts, current and ex-movie theater projectionists, new and old friends, and a couple of guys who happen to really like this movie take the time to talk about a movie that we just watched and answer that very question, should or shouldn't you watch this? A man without a name can never be identified. A man who doesn't exist can never be caught. A man who doesn't love can never truly be alive. The Saint is next.
My name is August Christopher. Bruno Houtenfaust.
In a world of global intrigue, this woman has discovered something that will revolutionize the world. Steal it for me. Trust no one.
I like this guy. Too bad we have to kill him.
Suspect everyone.
Who are you anyway?
But believe in one man.
If you want to live, you can leave my side.
The Saint, rated PG-13. Starts Friday, April 4th, everywhere.
I want to extend a fake mustache welcome to my zombies Call of Duty Saint, Mr. Sacklunch.
This is a big one. I mean, we've done a lot of big ones, but to me, this is a top echelon big podcast.
I mean, it's funny that it probably shouldn't be, but it is.
But it is.
It is. Do you like it? The Saint from 1997 is next. The details for this one. Simon the Saint, Templar, played by Val Kilmer, R.I.P., is a thief for hire whose latest job to steal the secret process for cold fusion puts him at odds with a traitor bent on toppling the Russian government, as well as the woman who holds its secret. That's a mouthful, dude.
That's a lot. I mean, not horrific.
Not horrific, but they're layering it on, for sure. A lot of crazy stuff.
For sure. They want to appeal to a larger audience.
Well, and it's like, if you look at a recipe and you look at all the ingredients and you're like, there's no way this is going to taste good. But then you take a bite and you're like, could I have another helping?
Or two or three.
Or two or three, exactly. Directed by Philip Noyce. I like it.
Noyce.
I like his last name, Noyce.
For sure.
Director of such hits as Patriot Games, Clear and Present Danger, The Bone Collector, and Salt.
Okay. I mean, definitely some 90s hits there.
Correct. He's still directing, but not like big blockbusters. Top billed stars are Val Kilmer, Elizabeth Shue, and Raid Zerbedzig. It's pretty good, right?
Yeah, right on, spot on. You must speak Russian.
Yes, da.
That's what's up.
I would have liked to have seen Montana. Runtime of 1 hour and 56 minutes. Rated PG-13.
It was a quick hour 56.
Yeah. The runtime was perfect. Genre on Raw Tomatoes says action, adventure, and romance. I like that.
Yeah.
But here's IMDb swooping in to give us all the genres that don't exist.
Fucking IMDb.
Here you go. Globe-trotting adventure. Spy. Just spy. That's a genre, just spy. I don't,
Okay.
It's weird. Action, adventure, romance. And here's the kicker. Thriller and sci-fi.
Sci-fi?
What?
No, dog. No.
No,
It's not sci-fi.
No, I mean, are they stretching at cold fusion not really existing, and that's why it's sci-fi? I don't know.
No, I'm not even going to allow you to stretch to try to find reason for IMDb. No,
No,
silly.
It's very silly and incorrect. Get your crap together, IMDb.
Correct.
Even though I look at your website constantly.
Often.
Speaking of IMDb, they give it a 6.2 out of 10 from 76,000 reviews. Not bad.
Wow. It's a little surprising.
Well, here's this will surprise you even more. Rotten Tomatoes gives this a 30% from 47 critics, and yeah, that's really low.
Especially for I feel like we are much more in sync with the Rotten Tomatoes audience.
Here's the Rotten Tomatoes audience is 63 from 50,000 ratings, audience ratings. I don't want to give away anything, but I'll just leave it at that. I'm not the same as 63 is what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, where you can stream this right now is on Paramount Plus in the United States. To be honest, I have no way of knowing for you international listeners where you're going to find this, because I'm sure my buddy Sacklunch had a rough go at finding it.
I just rented it from Prime Video this time instead of Apple.
Okay. You're spreading the wealth.
I'm just supporting the cause.
So you may not know the answer to this, but you have Paramount Plus, but it's not on Paramount Plus for you.
Well, I woke up this morning to try to log into Paramount Plus, and it kept telling me I had the wrong password. And as you know, I've got a crazy life, and so I have this finite amount of time. And so I was like, fuck it, I just got to get this thing watched. Even though I've watched this thing 40 times, I wanted it one more time, because when we were texting about it, I told you it's been a long time since I've seen this movie.
Yes,
and I love that it's been a long time.
I agree. I had the exact same experience. For the listeners, if you haven't heard our podcast on Trap, go check that out. That's where we started actually talking more about The Saint than about Trap. So this is why we're here. So
how did we stretch from Trap to this though? Because I obviously I've listened to the episodes but I cannot remember how we got on this thing.
I could tell you because I listened to it a couple of days ago just to make sure. And we were talking about how serial killers cannot look like Josh Hartnett. Serial killers look weird and gross and ugly and kind of off balance. And then we started talking about, the trope in movies where the scientist lady is just the most hot. And then you instantly went,
smoking hot.
you instantly went to The Saint. And I mean, this is the perfect example of that.
Man, she is so hot.
I mean,
dude.
1997 Elizabeth Shue is peak, dude.
Oh, I mean, we'll get into a lot of, I've got a lot of opinions there.
Yeah. Well, speaking of opinions, let's get into Popcorn Reviews the Reviews.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
All right, man. These are elite, just so you know.
Coming into this, I thought that you were probably going to have a hard time finding really bad reviews.
Okay, so this is all because of you. There are 229 total reviews on IMDb. Guess how many of those are 1-star, and guess how many of those are 5-star?
I would probably say 180 are 5-star, and maybe 25 are 1-star.
15 are 1-star, and 35 are 10-star.
Whoa.
So okay. I bet there's a lot of 6, 7s, and 8s.
Sure.
Definitely not a lot of 1-stars.
Yeah. Okay, good.
I picked the best 3 for sure. Do you want to end on a 1 or a 10?
I want to end on a 1 this time.
Okay. I like it. All right. And I've got a special treat for you. I don't know how I've managed this, but I've got 2 Russian reviewers in the mix.
Oh, no.
Okay.
They're going to check reality way too much. I can already tell.
And listen to me. This will probably be the first time in my life that I'm going to thank the Russians. Because it's so good. And not only do I have 2 Russian reviews, I have a 1 out of 10 Russian and a 10 out of 10 Russian, dude.
Yes. Fair and balanced.
Yes. It's going to be great. Okay. Here's the first 10 out of 10. The title of this review is The Saint. And it was given to us by Saint Thaddeus.
Oh, okay.
So, get ready. He's got credentials. This is my favorite movie of all time.
Yes.
Seems kind of corny, and you might think I'm a complete and utter fool, but it's true. Val Kilmer and Elizabeth Shue fall in love on film. Of course, they're acting, but I've never actually seen that moment when two people fall in love really portrayed in any other film that I've ever seen.
He's saying this gave the most realistic interpretation of two people falling in love. Like, that's what he extracted from this.
I mean, I was stepping on St. Thaddeus' side here.
I love it, man. Thaddeus is my guy. He's my goddamn guy.
It's simply great writing when he is back in her apartment and he knows and feels it's happening and tries to fight it, but he can't. Then the scene cuts to her in the bathroom, amazed at what she's feeling and saying, this can't be happening. As corny as this sounds, the writing, the acting, the scene show the true power of love. There are some beautiful shots of Russia and England in this movie as well. They picked the most gorgeous places they could find in Europe, and it's a backdrop for the whole movie. Who do I write to ask, could they get this out in HD? If this review was done in 2007, so there's no Blu-ray yet.
Okay.
Somebody please help me on this one. I can go on about The Saint, but this movie will just not disappoint. 10 out of 10.
I don't know if this is going to be spoilery or not.
It's fine. 1997. It's fine.
There were certainly some wonderful backdrops, but a lot of it was shot like the ghetto of Russia.
Oh, man. It wasn't... Well, it was flattering with Russia and also not flattering with Russia at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, there's scenes where in front of the Kremlin, right? It will never happen again in our lifetime.
Right.
We won't see movies shot in that square ever again.
Probably not with what we've done over the last few years.
Correct. I mean, it's beautiful. So anyway,
Yeah.
All right, our first 1 out of 10 comes to us from Hot Dunk.
Oh, you can already tell Hot Dunk's a fucking hater.
Hot Dunk gave this review in 2006, so kind of late in the game. He calls it a hole a minute. I'm guessing like plot holes.
Plot.
This was painful to watch. I could list all the holes, but it would waste yet more of my time than the film did, and you might not read this warning if I had to tick the contain spoiler box. It is like watching a Bond movie directed by a first-time director. Someone should tell the writer a bit more about Simon Templar. Aside from this small factor of being a poor actor, Val Kilmer is the antithesis of suave. What?
Whoa. I don't know about that. I have a couple of things to say about Val Kilmer, and I wasn't sure where I was going to put it in. I'll wait for the end of this.
Okay.
For Hot Dunk to give his hot dunk of a fucking review. But I definitely have an opinion on Kilmer.
More like hot dump.
Yeah.
I mentioned Bond because there's too much Bond-styled action in this. What?
Too much?
I mean...
Is there such a thing?
There's not a thing. Give me more, if you could.
Amen.
You get the feeling that the people making the film wish they'd got a Bond movie to direct, so they tried to emulate one. The end result meaning that they slaughtered the memory of the Saint in the process. They are very different characters. It gets 1 point for Elizabeth Shue looking as lovely as ever. It doesn't get any more than that because it falls down through its near infinite number of holes too much to drag itself up to 2 points. 1 out of 10.
I don't know what that guy was watching. I genuinely don't. Here's my hot take, if you don't mind.
Okay.
When you look at kind of the time when this was filmed, Val Kilmer had kind of disappeared for a couple of years there in kind of the mid 90s, for 93, 94, 95. When you look at some of his work, okay, like Top Gun, The Doors, Real Genius, I feel like Val Kilmer was the 90s Ryan Reynolds.
Maybe a little higher elevated.
What do you mean?
Meaning, I think Val Kilmer in the 90s was a bigger star than Ryan Reynolds in the 90s.
But I'm saying the 90s version of Kilmer is today's version of Ryan Reynolds.
Okay. I think Ryan Reynolds is
witty,
bigger now.
Probably so.
Yeah.
Probably so.
Yeah.
But again, it's a little different because Ryan Reynolds has a platform separate from Hollywood, right? He's got social media platform that's really elevated him to another level of stardom. But like when you look at Real Genius and Val Kilmer's character in Real Genius against like Van Wilder and some of those type of characters that Reynolds played, I feel like both of them are super witty and in control the entire time. And so I just draw a lot of parallels there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to name all of them, but from 86, you've got Top Gun, Willow, The Doors, True Romance, Tombstone, Batman, Heat, Ghost in the Darkness, and then The Saint. Good. So I think The Saint probably kind of hurt him the most, because after that it was not as great for him.
But was it The Saint that hurt him,
or maybe Batman?
I would say it's probably a combination of Batman and a whole lot of drugs. I think Hollywood caught up to him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
The man just passed away last year.
It's true.
And you could see, I mean, I haven't watched that documentary yet. But,
I can't.
That's tough, man. It's going to be.
I just don't want to weep all day.
Need to. Right. I know, dude. I know. But I think that's what cost him, because I don't think that The Saint was a bad performance at all. I thought it was amazing.
No, it was unbelievably. I mean, he should have gotten a supporting nod. I mean, I know it's a stretch, but I don't care.
I agree.
All right, well, let's get back to, what are we on, a second 1 out of 10?
Yep.
All right, this comes to us from BS Chin. Not sure what that means. He says, at least it's better than Lord of the Rings. Really, really weird comparison we're making.
I can't see that.
BS Chin says, of course, just about anything is better than Lord of the Rings. Man, he's doubling down.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but this is a 10 out of 10, right?
This is different than, I mean, okay, let's hear the whole thing. This was better than all of them combined, but this is still sucky. Val Kilmer does a good job as Simon Templar, but did the producers completely ignore the television show? Templar, when played by Roger Moore, was suave, cool, and always collected. Val Kilmer was just hypothermic throughout the whole movie. The crap would never fly in a Roger Moore episode. You might as well have killed the guy off in the first 3 minutes and just had Elizabeth Shue take care of everything for him like she does anyways. 1 out of 10.
Whoa. I don't understand where he's not talking suave, because dude was electric. I mean, come on. What are we talking about here? He clearly grew up just idolizing the TV show, and he's not going to like any adaptation from TV to the big screen. It's just that type of fan. This
happened to us when we were reviewing the Mission Impossible series, which you should go check those out. And
really good, and we have to conclude that.
Correct. The final review is forthcoming. When we reviewed the first Mission Impossible, there were so many people complaining about, this is not faithful to the original content. You know, and it's like, come on, man.
But I bet if we were to read those type of reviews, because we saw those reviews really after the first one. And I think that if you were to kind of watch over the evolution of the franchise of Mission Impossible, I think you would probably start to see that people came around on the GOAT and realized that it's clearly one of the greatest franchises of all times, if not the greatest.
Correct. And I would argue that if The Saint had gotten what I think they were trying to do, was make more of them, I think that would have happened as well.
I agree, and I look forward to getting into some of that commentary. I don't know if you have it or not. I'm interested to hear your take on why those didn't take place. So whether that's, we talk about it
probably next week
or next week.
Yeah. All right, here's our first Russian 10 out of 10. Very underrated, great movie. Says XL7 OE3.
Okay.
Could be his PIN number. I'm not sure.
Right.
I was about 10, maybe 11, when I've seen for first time. Okay, I'll stop.
No, but it's amazing. Did you practice? Be honest.
No, I just like accents and Russian. I'm not perfect at it, but you know what? I love it so much. It became one of my all-time favorite movies. I just love Val Kilmer, and I don't get why he gets trashed so often. Shu is beautiful, and Russia looks very pretty and very real. Though there are still some cliches left like year-round frost, earlobes, caps, and vodka. Come on. But thankfully no dancing bears on the streets and all that stuff. And not to forget, Valerie Nikolaevich as one of the main characters, who also does well in representing our Russia day's reality. There were also some decent sense of humors, some pretty cool effects, and good intensity throughout the entire movie. But the main thing is that it was very human, very sensible. Yup, that's it. Must see. 10 out of 10.
Well done, dude. Well done. That was great. Look, I don't disagree much with my man. I mean, again, Elizabeth Shue was just spectacular to watch through the entire thing. I wish I could have seen more notes being put away, you know?
I mean, it is really funny that that's where we're hiding stuff, and we got to talk about it so much. I wasn't complaining.
Yeah, I wasn't going to complain at all. What can I just ask you, since we're on this Elizabeth Shue, did the schoolgirl outfits seem a little contrived?
I mean, there's a lot, if you stop and think about it, shouldn't work. I was like, fine. I don't know what it is about her acting. She seems so genuine. See, her little giggles, her little gasps, her little way she smiles. It's just it seems very genuine. And I just believe what she's saying, even though it seems silly.
She makes every man think that she's attainable.
Correct.
There's not many that can do it like that. Like, she's not intimidatingly beautiful. She's not intensely sexual. She's just perfect.
Yeah. I don't have any words to add to that. Here's our last Russian review, and it's a 1 out of 10. So it's the contrast. You got this one Russian person that loves it despite its Russian flaws, gives it a 10 out of 10. This is the opposite. And I'm not going to read the whole thing because that would be really hard. But this is from Eli Czar, and the title is From Russia with Love. He says, this awful picture illustrates us how American people erroneously see our country. First of all, I'd like to dissuade them. It's a bullshiz movie. Don't trust Philip Noyce, Leslie Charteris, and Jonathan Hensley. Either they are liars or don't know anything about Russia. Here are 5 or 6 reasons why. Number 1, I enjoyed seeing sexy chicks as great professor. Maybe I have to switch to Russia. Okay, I'm going back to Russia. Number 1, I enjoyed seeing sexy chick as great professor who could write non-existent formula on her knee. But the same enjoyment I get watching almost every American film. For those who still are listening, sexy chick chooses other professions, not scientists.
Okay.
Cold thermonuclear does not exist. Even if it could be existed, its formula could not be written during half hour on a knee.
I don't think that it was written in a half an hour.
Yeah, I think that what they're missing is she rearranged the formula to make it work. That's all she did in that scene.
Well, not only that, but she said she had solved it, right?
Already.
She was excited. She'd already solved it. But that doesn't mean that she included it in that formula. Like, if you're trying to keep it safe, you would probably keep it fragmented.
Yeah, which she did on those pieces.
Right. And the last piece was in her head.
Maybe. All right, here's number 2. I enjoyed seeing Russia suffering of deficiency in fuel, or rather I enjoyed indeed LOL. Russia is one of the largest suppliers of fuel in the world. More probable than the United States would suffer from shortage of fuel. especially when Arabian countries with American oil under it will dry up. Number 3, I very much enjoyed seeing Russian people speaking English fluently. And he's saying enjoyed in quotes. So he didn't enjoy. Yeah. I can't do a sarcastic Russian. Okay, I'm trying, but just keep that in mind. Ordinary Russian citizen does not speak English. They speak Russian. Number 4, I really enjoyed seeing trite Russian mafia. LOL. Number 5, I misunderstood why Russian people chanted Yankee go home. Yankee are at home in USA. In our country, there is only an embassy.
Okay.
And finally, my special thanks, in quotation marks, to Russian actors who played in this second-rate picture. They are ashamed of their country. I'd like them to know that. 1 out of 10.
Wow. Here's the first question, and maybe a dose of reality. Did you have to translate this from Russian?
No, it was in English on IMDb. I don't know if they did it or because there's some obviously grammar errors. I read it exactly how they wrote it, so it's probably they speak English.
So don't you find that interesting that he's going to complain that the film used English, even though it's an American film? He still complained that the Russians spoke English, and yet he's going to write his review in English.
Yeah,
I think the irony there is silly.
You know what movie actually did it really well is The Hunt for Red October. So when they first get into the first scene in the submarines, they're speaking all in Russian. And then there's this moment where
seen it.
You haven't seen Hunt for October?
I have not.
Whoa. That's an interesting idea to do the Jack Ryan series, but maybe we'll table that. But anyway, there's a really cool transition where the camera moves and then all of a sudden they're speaking in English with Russian accents. So I like that idea that, hey, we're in Russia. We know they should be speaking Russian, but this is primarily going to be shown to English audiences. We're not going to make them read subtitles. So sorry for everyone else.
Again, this guy is clearly very sensitive and doesn't, like, it reminds me of the Seinfeld where they're on the subway playing Risk and they're like, no, man, Ukraine's weak. Ukraine is not weak. That's who this guy is.
Yeah, and you know what? For fear of getting any hate mail from Russia, I appreciate both of the reviews today. Thank you.
Dislike it so much when the expectations are so askew, so hyper focused on themselves. It just, I don't get it.
I don't either. But let's take this is the chocolate mint on your pillow at the hotel at night. This is our last 10 out of 10.
All right.
This comes to us from Gary93.
Yeah, Gare Bear.
His title of the review is, I'm sorry I liked it. And then this is all he says. Well, I've read some comments here, and I have to say I love the film. But if you asked what I thought of it, I normally just say I quite liked it, when really I've seen it an unhealthy number of times.
Yeah.
I really liked it, and I'm not really that sorry. 10 out of 10.
Yes. Yes, dude. Like, I guarantee Gary is the best on his bowling team.
Oh, man. And he wears the most coolest shirts.
Guarantee. Gare Bear is my kind of guy. No apologies needed, Gare Bear.
Yeah, he apologizes, but then, not sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at. I'm with Gary. I'm like, I don't care if you hate this. It's good. It's really good, and it shouldn't be. I already said it shouldn't be, but it is. Which is a great segue to, should or shouldn't you watch this? Cover your ears. All right, 5 reasons why you should watch The Saint from 1997, and add to it if you would wish, Sacklunch. Number 1, if you like spy movies or heist movies, this has got to be on the list.
Sure.
Number 2, if you want a solid date night movie, I would say this is a great pick for both sides.
Oh, yeah.
For
100%.
I'm not saying you can. They're all kind. Love is love, okay. But if you have a lady and a guy, guys are gonna like this. Ladies are gonna like it too.
I would agree with that.
Because I watched it with my wife, and she's like, it started off. She's like, "Is this James Bond?" And I'm like, "No, it's the Saint. I already told you, it's the Saint." And then halfway through, she's like engrossed with the love interest. So it was awesome.
Well, but not just a love interest. I mean, the character of Elizabeth Shue, Emma, she played an integral role in saving the day, where most of the time they're just all damsel in distress, where there was certainly some of that, but she was also, a very, very big part of the success of saving the world, if you will.
Yeah, and she had just like Val Kilmer's character, she had a lot of second thoughts on things, and which I think is really cool. And she even was like, I don't know if I trust you, even though I want to. And then she goes her own way and then comes back and he does the same thing. And you're right, she's integral in saving the day. All right, number 3. If you want to see why I love Val Kilmer so much, this is why. And number 4, if you're struggling to find something to watch, just put this in the queue, okay?
I would completely agree with that.
And finally, last but not least, Elizabeth Shue from 1997. She was the Saint, not Val Kilmer.
Man, I am telling you, stunning.
Yeah. Any other reasons?
We could probably go for weeks just talking about all the awesomeness that was the Saint. But I would say that Val Kilmer, just going back to that being one of them, as far as why you loved him, this really was, to me, the perfect example of who Val Kilmer was. And I think that because shortly after the late 90s, his career just completely dried up for whatever the reasons are, like we mentioned earlier, I think that this really is a great reminder to people of just how electric he was.
Yeah. I find myself, when watching this movie, just waiting for the next character. Just waiting till he, jumps into another skin sauce.
And the makeup for 97 was pretty darn good.
Yeah, dude. I knew, okay, I'm going to have to save this. Let's save this. No, I'm going to say it now. It's relevant. There's a moment in the show, and I won't reveal who he is, but he's playing a specific character. And the rest of my family who was watching this with me, they didn't know it was Val Kilmer. They thought it was the other character until it does a really close up of his face, and you're like, oh, that's not the other guy. It's Val.
Okay.
So pretty cool.
Next week when there's spoilers, I want to know the character.
Okay. All right. Any other reasons before we get into by the numbers?
Did you say Elizabeth Shue?
Yeah, she's number 5 and number 6.
Yeah, make it number 7. In fact, make it a fucking baker's dozen. Oh, that would be 6. Dang it. Anyways.
Yeah. Very, very good.
Yeah.
I was very impressionable in 97 with Elizabeth Shue.
Yeah. For sure.
All right. By the numbers.
Blank.
For God's sake, just give me the damn number!
What do you think the budget was on this?
Man, that's a tough one. I mean,
it is.
It clearly had a big budget, but this was, again, back in the mid to late 90s. And, Titanic was kind of that first one that really kind of broke the bank into that next echelon of movies and their budgets. I would put the budget at $57.5 million.
90.
Whoa.
Very high. And we'll get into it next week a little bit, but there was multiple reshoots that cost millions of dollars because there was an alternate ending that I wasn't even aware of, dude.
There's an alternate ending?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I was high at 57.5.
Yeah, very high budget. And do you want to guess the box office haul, or do you want me to tell you?
No, I want to guess it.
Okay.
I would say in the U.S., probably 127, internationally 220.
This is why we didn't have another Saint.
Oh, no.
Domestic 61.3, international 108s for a total of 169.4.
I just don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, you've got international locations. You've got, I mean, it just seems like a formula for let's make 3 or 4 of these.
I don't understand that at all. That's shocking to me.
It probably didn't break even.
No way, not with those numbers. Because I was questioning, especially toward the end of watching it, like, how did this not become a franchise? Even if Val Kilmer was the reason, how? Like, you could replace him with somebody that, like, there was plenty to go off of here.
Yeah. I mean, people have referenced Bond so much. Like, Bond is the example of, hey, we'll just switch out the actor after 1 or 2 films or 4 or whatever it is, and we'll keep going with the story. That's all you need. Kind of crazy. I did look up domestic box office top 10. I think it's a little off because Titanic is number 7 and it should be number 1. But
Titanic kind of came in, it spilled over into 2 years. It was in the theaters for.
Yeah. It says release date was December 19th, and this is domestic top 10. So it didn't hit top 10 until the following year.
Yeah.
So this might be right. I'll give it to you from backwards, 10-1. I'm not gonna. If you want what it made, just tell me and I'll tell you. But I'm just gonna read you the names. And I have a bonus one. Number 11 is Con Air. So,
great movie.
Please go listen to our holy trinity of Nicolas Cage pods with my buddy JJ. They are elite. Anyway, number 11 is Con Air. 10 is George of the Jungle. 9 is Batman and Robin. 8 is Face Off. Again, holy trinity of Cage. 7 is Titanic. 6, My Best Friend's Wedding. 5 is Star Wars Episode 4 re-release is number 5. A movie from the 70s hit number 5 on the box office charts. Unbelievable. And we're still talking about Star Wars today. It just boggles my mind. Anyway, 4, Air Force One. 3, Liar Liar. 2, Jurassic Park 2. And number 1, Men in Black.
Good movies in there.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that, you know, of all those movies that you gave, like The Saint would still be in the probably top 4.
It should have been.
Maybe even top 3. Like in my own list, if I were to take those 11 with the bonus, like I probably would have had The Saint in my top 3.
I would have too. Well, the only other number I have is body count, and this is not very accurate. So I hate to go out on a low note, but that's all I got.
32?
6. They're saying there's a lot of off-screen stuff and unspecified, like, police and military casualties that die in explosions, and we're not really sure. That's what they're saying. But I think you're more right in the 30s.
I agree.
Anyway, that's all I got. Is there anything you want to talk about before we close?
No, I've got a lot to be said next week. That's spoiler, so I'm going to save it.
Okay. At this point, there will be spoilers up ahead. So if you want to come and watch The Saint, please. If you haven't watched it, go watch it and then come back next week and join us for a breakdown of Do You Like It? From 1997. I'm on the social medias. Let's do this on our way out. This sounds so good. I love this song so much. I'm on the social medias. I dare you to message the great Popcorn Priest at Popcorn Priest. I love movies and would love you to share the love. Share this with the movie lover in your life. For the cost of a cup of coffee, you can help the Popcorn Priest support his movie addiction and allow him to keep giving you these labor of love reviews by visiting patreon.com/Popcorn Priest for details. Lastly, the easiest way to support the show and the most free is like and subscribe and give us a 5-star review. Easier than changing your appearance like 12 times. And thanks to my special guest, Sacklunch, for coming on the show and being a reoccurring guest. Appreciate it, man.
Can't wait to wrap this up. next week because I think there's going to be a lot of fireworks at the end of next week.
Yeah, you don't want to miss it. We'll see you guys next week for the finale of The Saint from 1997.